Lunchtime chat. Don't follow the herd. Don't follow the herd. I've been observing a lot of everything around me, and what I'm coming to conclude is that most people are just blindly running off a cliff. They're just blindly following anything they see, listening to whatever that they think is the latest thing, trend, fad, and they're just running like a buffalo off of the cliff with all their friends. And if we are going to go somewhere, if we're going to do something big, if we're going to live the life that we truly want to live, we cannot follow the herd. So that's my message today, is to find ways to listen to the voice inside of you that says what's right for you, having the courage to listen to that, because that is not easy. It is not easy to go against your programming, which it's not your fault, but you've basically been programmed to behave a certain way, eat certain foods, follow certain cultural norms, live in a society that tells you to do certain things, and you're programmed. Literally, your subconscious is programmed for you to act a certain way and be a certain way and to live a life a certain way. And I guarantee you, without conscious, intentional effort to toe a different direction, you're just going to be like everybody else. You have to be able to express what's real for you. You have to be able to live in a world where your expression of what's true for you shines through, where you're not doing things for others, but you're doing things on the back of what's right for you. You're doing things off the back of what you know to be true about yourself and what you know to be true about others. Follow your instincts, follow your gut. Like, and I actually had a mentor when I had a mentor in Texas, and you know, I think he kind of he didn't agree with my stance on like um, following your instincts. And I'm somebody who really believes that. I actually just I saw an interview too with the guy from Oppenheimer. He's an actor. He's an actor. He's the main character of Oppenheimer and Peaky Blinders. I forget that guy's name, but essentially he said he was in an interview and he was asked, "Hey, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give, or what's the biggest uh, takeaway or like life thing?" And he said, "Follow your instincts." Or it was if you could say anything to your younger self, what would it be? And it was to follow your instincts, follow your instincts, follow your instincts. And that is something that I fully believe in. I fully believe that if we can live more from the stance of what our gut says and what our instincts are telling us, we're going to live a life that's a lot more in alignment for us, and a lot more less. It's going to have a lot less tension with others because you're actually living from a place that's substantial and real for you. And I feel like the way that we can do that is to listen, listen to ourselves and quiet the noise, right? Because most people are just following blindly, just running through life to achieve goals that they haven't even set themselves, but that they think are correct, that they think are right, that they blindly listen to. And I get frustrated with this because I'm even angry. Like, I'm angry for how long I have like bought that, or I've been on that gravy train, right? Thinking like, man, if I get the college degree and I get the job and I get the girl and I get the house and I get the things, then then I can be happy, then I can live all that. And it's just not true, right? I really feel like the greatest journey any of us will ever embark on is with ourselves, is with raising our own consciousness, raising our own awareness of life. looking at ourselves and saying, how does my life move forward in relation to what I genuinely want, not in relation to what other people expect of me. And I get really passionate about this and I get fired up about this because I get I just see how much not living this way hurts people and how not living this way has such a negative effect, right? Even I'll be candid with you guys. Like, even I get off the phone recently with somebody that I care about, and they're just like and maybe they're like drunk, and it you know for me it hurts me because they're in pain, they're hurting themselves, they don't want to do that, but they choose to harm themselves, and I ask myself why the fuck are we harming ourselves? Why is society um, obsessed with this bullshit culture of drink on the weekends, live for the weekend, live for the party, live like the path of least resistance almost. And I just get pissed because I see it hurting people that I care about. And I'm tired of it. Like I really like it, it is unbelievable to me the extent people will go to harm themselves through food, through behavior, through everything. Everything. It's hella frustrating because there is on the other side of like actually trying and actually loving yourself and really like, and I don't mean loving yourself from the standpoint of this fairy like, oh, like pat myself on the back and blah blah, like I mean just like having self-respect and like doing the things that you should do for you, where you can love yourself enough to not harm yourself, right? And you could say, oh, but like it's not a big deal, like you drank some alcohol or like you got high, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It does feel bigger than that, right? And someone I even had this recently. Like, so, I was just somebody was joking around with me, and I like had like a serious response, or like I got deep, and I don't care that I get deep. I feel like for me, you know, the way I can serve people the most and the way I can show up authentically is by being my most authentic self, which is an expression of this part of me. And I feel like some people need to like get just look at this stuff and be like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing? I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I look out, it's 2025. I look outside, like I look at how society's going, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, what are we doing? And it's like it's this piece of me which just has this disagreement almost with what I see, and which is why, in the whole point, the whole my main message within all of this, which is to not build a life off of what you see, but build a life off of faith and build a life off of the vision that you have for your life and what you're working towards, right? Because the external will always lie to you. The external will give you, and I'm gonna crack this can even deeper. The external is really just there to partake some level of, almost take something from you. It's to exert its force onto you, and it's to move you in a way for its own gain. So how do we operate in the world not affected by such forces, right? Be them spiritual, physical, all of it. It's all meant to move you off center, right? And let's look at from a biblical standpoint. Like I forget the verse, but it's essentially, we're not meant to fight the battles of principalities, but of spirit. You know, there's spiritual people believe there's spiritual warfare going on all the time. That everywhere around us, every day, me, you, we're all embodying this battle that we can't see. And part of me is like, well, that's fucking crazy. And part of me is like, well, I could see it, right? Like, why? How are people led to self harm? How are people led to commit suicide? How are people led to um, hurt themselves, eat so poor they become obese, drink themselves, drug overdosing. Like how are people so? It almost feels like it's not them, right? Because if anyone had conscious control or effort over themselves, they wouldn't treat themselves that way, and they would move differently. And I just get curious about this because I'm seeing it such a stark, not contrast, but a stark just um I'm just seeing it more substantially all the time, all the time. And it's not everybody. I feel like some people have a break on moving out of it and creating a life for themselves. I certainly haven't perfected the process, but I'm gonna go out swinging, right? I am not accepting like this whatever the fuck, like whatever is happening, like I'm not accepting it, and I am gonna actively work to be an agent of change within whatever this is because it is rampant, I feel. And everyone deserves freedom from this too. Right? I feel like ultimate bliss in life is can be achieved when you are at peace with yourself, when you don't harm yourself anymore, when you love yourself, when you choose yourself, when you do the things for you that you know you need to do, when you have discipline, when you eat right, when you move towards your goals, when you surround yourself with people that you resonate with, that love you. All of those things, all of those things matter. They all matter at the end of the day, right? But it's truly moving into that space and staying in that space. Something that I'm currently working on is being able to keep the things. I forget there's like a quote, but it's like work, cultivate the things that you want, but then have like the discipline to maintain them, right? I feel like sometimes we get these things in life, like we finally attract the right stuff, finally get that relationship, we finally get that job, we finally get the thing, and then it's, you know, somehow we sabotage it. Somehow we don't have the like the ability to keep it, the ability to keep it in our lives, the ability to stay consistent with it, the ability to stay disciplined with it. Why is that? And that's something I'm working on is cultivating discipline to keep the things that are meant for me that are here and to love those things and to participate in those things and to be really grateful for what is here and for what matters. And I feel like that's a process. It's a process for me, and it's a process for anybody going through this life is learning to love what's here and to value what's here and to cultivate appreciation for what matters. And that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing when we can cultivate that and to be present with that and to come into acceptance around the fact that this life is short, time here is limited, we won't be here forever. But what will remain is the impact that we have and the effort that we made and the focus that we put into life and our artistic expression, our our expression of ourself, what will remain throughout time for all of us. It's not the parties you went to, the Super Bowls that you watched. It's such so fucking stupid, man. Like, or you know, and just any of the fun time. What people will remember is how you made them feel. How'd you make people feel when you were around them? So the relational impact you had, and then your impact on this life, right? And whatever that looks like for you. How are you gonna leave some type of imprint? How are you gonna leave some type of legacy? Some type of powerful way of being in life that matters and that people remember and that people know you for. That's important. It's important to stick to that. It's important to know that the way you move matters and that it always will and it always has. It's just sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we lose track of this, the importance of our existence and the value of it and the value of showing up, the value of just being ourselves. It gets lost in, and to tie it all back to what I'm talking about, it gets lost in herd mentality. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. And this isn't some like bullshit, like be a lone wolf and like do it all yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is think critically about your life, think critically about what you're doing. Don't just blindly follow people just because other people are doing it, or because it's popular, or because it's culturally acceptable to do certain things. Like, choose yourself. Choose yourself over those things. Choose what is genuinely right for you. Choose what matters to you. Move in a way that actually resonates with you. Move in a way that fucking matters. Stick your fucking flag in the ground for something that is important to you. Fight the fight. Don't go down on your belly. Go down fucking swinging. Because, and it's not, once again, it's not like an actual fight. You're not going out and fighting other people. I mean, go out pursuing what matters to you with a level of umph and desire that will get you there. Because no one is going to show up and back you. No one's going to show up and do it for you. No one's going to like cultivate discipline and motivation through you and help you through your bullshit. Do the inner work. Achieve your goal. No one is going to do that. You have to find a burning desire in you to cultivate that and to achieve that. And to not be shy about that. To really decide that this life is yours for the taking and to almost metaphorically get on that ship, right? There's a ship that leaves the harbor. Are you going to be on it or not? Are you going to get on the ship? Or are you going to get off the ship? Right? And that's the decision you have to come to. What ship are you on? And is that the ship you want to be on? And if it's not, get off that ship and get on the right ship. Right? This goes metaphysically, metaphorically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, every tick of holisticness, holistic health that you can tick. You're on a trajectory currently. Get aware of where you're going and chart the right path. Chart the path that makes sense. Chart the path that is right for you. Because once again, no one, no one is going to chart your path for you. You have to cultivate it. You have to work on it. You have to believe enough in yourself that the direction you're moving is correct. And if it's not, by golly, change it. Because you're going to look back. This year's going to be over. It's already March 3rd, 2025. This year's going to be over. We're going to be going into 2026, saying to ourselves, what happened? Where did it go? Where did the time go? What happened? And I want you to be looking back at the end of that, proud of what you did. And I recorded a video about this. It's titled Addition by Subtraction. And that might be what it looks like for you, is removal of things that aren't in alignment. And then you can actually sit with yourself and chart a course that's genuine for you. But it's only through the removal of the people, the places, the things, the food, the shit. It's only once you get the junk out that something can grow. A flower can't grow on concrete. A flower can grow in fertile soil. And if you're not planted in fertile soil and you're on a piece of concrete, you're not going to grow. No matter how much meditation, affirmation, mentors you have, church services you go to, sermons you listen to, chakra aligning you do, Reiki sessions you do, all of that doesn't matter. All of it doesn't matter. if you're not planted somewhere where your truest, authentic, aligned self can come through. So get there, get to a spot where you can settle and grow. You deserve it. Keep going.